But yeah, let's do it. So it's come to my attention that a lot of people who are new to the industry don't know how to make a mastering chain, or at least they don't know what some of these tools are for. So I thought I'd get into it. Basically, your mastering chain should always be the finishing touches that you put on any instrumental, any project. Realistically, they should be a fully different project altogether, like a fully different session altogether. But if you're, in a time crunch, if you're in a rush, I recommend just creating a separate track that all your other tracks fall under to put your mastering chain on. Try not to put it on the actual master channel. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we have two channels. If we were to take these two, group them, which is Command G or Control Z if you're on Windows, that's where we would add our mastering chain. Simple as that. You want to keep it there so that you have a bit more control over your buffer size or your sample rate. Now, from here, let's do a walkthrough of my mastering chain. Specifically, we have my vintage mastering chain. On my vintage master, I start out with the RC20, basically to give it a warmer color, warmer tone. A drum shaper, also from the same company. I use this to simply bump up the impact of some of my percussion elements. Then I've got my glue compressor, which a compressor, for those who think it's just to make things louder, a compressor is actually to shape. It's not necessarily to make things louder. If you're just making things louder with your compressor, then your sound will be distorted, which if that's what you're going for, no harm, no foul, but the intended use of a compressor is to shape. I personally use the glue compressor for most everything. After that, I have my EQ8, which I turn on to mid-side compression or mid-side EQing, strictly so that I can roll out some of that low end on the side profile. You don't really want low end on the sides of your headphones. You want it right in the center. A saturator to make those sounds that I've slightly EQ'd a bit larger, a bit more colorful. Finishing touches on this EQ. And if there's anything that's kind of lacking, I then use my multi-band dynamics multi-band compressor, which is really to just boost certain signals and potentially shape how quickly they come through it when you see here your attack and release. Right here, I have my stereoscope to see my session and see that it's properly spaced out. One last glue compressor to possibly raise the floor a little bit, and then a limiter to lightly keep it from past unity. Unity being 0. So let's go into a session that I have where I have not put on a mastering chain. For this beat, I already have a mastering chain here, right? But for giggles, let's get rid of it. Matter of fact, delete that, right? So we've deleted the mastering chain. This is what the beat sounds like without the mastering chain. Right? Like we have a lot of the elements, but nothing that's really standing out, nothing that's really gripping you. So we're going to add in our mastering chain. And when you're mastering, you always want to go to the loudest section for your instrumental, your project, whatever. We're going to start out with our RC master. Already sounds better. For comparison, that was the master channel bypassed, and this is with it engaged. Slight difference. Nothing too crazy, slight difference. So we're gonna raise the width just a hair. We're gonna raise it to 115. Don't need that. Raise the distortion a little bit. Now, this specific preset adds in dropouts like you would for any tape or a record that's just like old, you know? So I don't need any dropouts. I graduated. But also take note that this master also already has gain on the RC20. Keep that in mind when you're adding anything else that might raise the floor on your master channel. The RC20, we didn't do too much to it, but that's okay. That's all we need. The DS10, let's raise up some of these transients. You see that orange line here? That's going to be where our transients are landing and how much we're raising the floor for them. And this will be how long that floor is raised. We're gonna raise the presence a little bit more. Now, because I have a fear of clipping, we're going to soft clip it. Simple. Go to our glue compressor, and we're going to lower the attack to 0.1. We don't need anything too crazy. We're going to leave the release right where it is, and the ratio will go for 10, so it's we have a little bit more wiggle room. Now, at the moment, it's just louder, so I'm going to roll back on the gain a little bit more. Sounds good so far. I did notice on our EQ8, our first one, that around the 1K range, we were lacking on the frequencies a little bit more. So we're going to roll off that low end, and then we're going to boost our 1K range. Make sure that you're on your side. Now, I know some producers that like to boost everything all the way the hell up here. I don't do that. It's light touches, you know? Okay. For the saturator analog clip, I'd rather have a sinoid fold. Right? Now, to add a little bit of brightness to it, we're going to take our shelf, which would be our number 4 on Ableton. We're going to raise it up just a hair. Simple as that. We've gotten through really 70% of our mastering chain that quickly. Now for the multi-band dynamics, multi-band compressor, we're going to roll back some of our low end, because back here, you'll see that our kick is coming through very loud and very clear. Okay, now we're going to make the attack super quick. And the release a little quicker as well. Now let's look at our stereoscope. Now Now you see how the stereoscope is fluctuating like the Eye of Sauron? That's what you want. You want it to be more ovular or more circular rather than just a straight line, which with a lot of bass music, a lot of hip hop music, you will see it just be a straight line if it's not mixed correctly. Okay, now roll back on the attack, little longer on the release, and we're going to keep it at 4. Raise the floor a little bit, soft clip it, and put the limiter at minus 0.20. All right, we have now mastered it. Let's hear what it sounds like with our master off and then with our master on. This is off. Doesn't really do anything for me. Now let's hear the beat, the full beat with the master on. Master off. Yeah. Now always remember, you can never make a proper master without a great mix. Always work on your mixing first. If your mix isn't hitting, your master will be real wonky. That's really all I got. Please subscribe, like, all that jazz. I also have a music commentary channel, EQ Speaks. Hope to see you there. Thanks for the watch. I appreciate the views. Peace.